Girl, come here. Come on.
Okay,
Come here, girls.
that's all right. You might hear mine too. She's in timeout, so
Uh-oh.
yeah.
That's never a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Sophie.
Bella.
Oh, yeah, Bella, not Sophie.
Yeah, Sophie's not the
Sophie's
one. But we are now live on Facebook. So thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. We have a fun topic about those of us who have animal Reiki businesses and we're trying to get people into our business. And I guess this information applies no matter what kind of business you have, really. And we've got 3 takeaways that we want to share with you today. And then we're going to open it up to hear what's going on with you and get some ideas. The first one is that a confused mind never buys. And Leah is going to take us through some websites because if we have websites are important, but we want to make sure that we're getting the most bang for our buck with our website. And there's some things we need to do and look for.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to cover the points real quick. The next point is you should always have a call to action. And then we're going to talk about joining groups and podcasts. So I'm going to, before I can start with Leah, I need to actually, give her permission to do that. So hang on just a second. Sorry about that. No,
yeah. So, when we look at our websites or anything, whether it's your social media, whether it's your emails, but most importantly, we're going to look at websites. If you're not really clear on what you have to offer, then people won't buy. So if you go to a website and you really can't find the class easily or find the consultation button easily, you're going to leave because people have a very short attention span. So if they search animal Reiki classes and they get to your site and it's not super easy, they're going to move on. So we always want to be really clear about that. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to look at a couple sites that might kind of illustrate this a little better. So the first one, and this is not picking on anyone, the site actually isn't that bad, but so she has, here it is, Reiki Care, and she has her menu bar, which her menu bar is pretty good, but it's kind of confusing though, because she says, what is Reiki, Holy Fire Reiki, and then Reiki classes, animal Reiki classes, Reiki sessions. So if I'm looking at this, I'm like, well, is Holy Fire not Reiki? So that's confusing. Like, I'm not sure why she has the two, but again, then she has this huge picture and she's taking up all this real estate. So she already has what is Reiki right here. So she really doesn't need that. And also it doesn't tell me really a lot about who she is, what she's offering. Now here she did this right. She has what is Reiki again, which is really weird. I don't know why she has it up here. And I don't even know if there's a button that you can, doesn't even look like, oh yes, we can move it. So I don't know what our other offerings are here. I guess this is about Holy Fire. It's really small writing. And then this too is really small. That's her mission. Her mission should be right here. It should be like in this top 1/3. She should have her mission statement. It should be only a couple sentences and it should be a lot bigger. This picture right here is taking up way too much real estate. So again, you look at it like above the fold is what they say in marketing, and above the fold, she's not really offering that much. Now here, she did this right. So what is Reiki? Reiki classes, Reiki sessions. Love it. This is perfect. And then she says who she is, and that's great. And then she's got a Reiki share. I would actually switch the Reiki share with her because I would say like, here's all these Reiki things. And then actually we do every Thursday an online Reiki share. So there's right there another offering. And then she says to sign up for her newsletter. I didn't catch this in the earlier one, but if she's asking for you to sign up to her newsletter, she really should have a button right here to sign up. You shouldn't have to go, because now I have to go and look for that button to sign up. Then she has what I can only assume to be testimonials because she has a quote, but these are all so small. And again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time reading these. Also, what we've been told is in today's day and age, they want pictures. So if you're going to do a testimonial, have a little photo. Ask the people who give you a testimonial if you could do a little round photo of them, even if it's of their dog or whatever, just have something to attach to that person. So this is all really small. I probably wouldn't even waste time reading it. I would probably have moved on by now. And then she has her social media buttons, which she has them in the right place. You want to have them down here in what they call the junk drawer, but you can barely even see them. So I'm not even sure, I would have caught them had I not been looking. So when we go back up here, there isn't even a place to sign up for her. Like she tells you right here, if you want to join I just want to make sure there's no buttons. You want to join sign up for my newsletter and you'll get a Zoom link. But guess what? I don't see any place. Like sometimes you can have your contact information, like contact me down here. You can have your newsletter sign up down here. That's totally fine. But if you're going to make an offering like this, you want to make sure that you have a button right here that either takes you to the contact page or it is the contact. So it'll be like email and name. You want to make sure that that's there, because honestly, I wouldn't be able, there's no contact. I don't even see a place to sign up for her newsletter. Now you can email her, but she could have that down below. This stuff right here could be down below too. Another reason you don't always want to have your email up here, your phone number, your social media is because people are lazy. They come to the site, they go, oh, I don't understand. I'm just going to give her a call. Or I'm going to email you. And you can go, well, actually that's on my website, right? So you want that down in the junk drawer. And then let's just go to her classes really fast and see what she's got. So we go to her classes. Let me see. Sorry, my computer must be having a problem. Oh, here we go. So here we are at her classes. And again, I don't know, here's her newsletter sign up. Okay, so that's there, but that's not obvious. And then interested in feeling it. So here, it's really like she should have a class, whatever the class is, like here's our classes and list them, and her upcoming classes should be listed here with a link, and the link would take you to the description. So here she has Reiki 1 and 2, Reiki Master. So I guess you can go down. Okay, great. And then for a complete description, you click there and then register. She should have a register button up here and then again down here, and we'll show you why. So if we look at Kathleen's website, let me put this down. And, we've done a lot of work on this website. She used to have what that lady had. She used to have a huge picture up here. And then we consulted with a marketing expert and he said, you got to have that small. And you have your mission statement right there. So they know right away. You look at the above the fold and you know everything you need to know pretty much. You've got discover the power of animal guided healing through meditation. So, okay, that says what she's about a little bit. She's the world's animal Reiki pioneer and creator of the Let Animals Lead method. So we know that about her. And then here, the font's a little small. I would probably make it a little bigger, but her background isn't competing with the font. It's a light background. You can easily read it, where that other woman's, it was a little bit harder to read. You go right here. She says, you want to get certified, click here. If you want to sign up for here, click here. Or she just tells you, if you're an animal Reiki practitioner, click here, click here. You want to read my books, click here, click here. And they take you directly to her books. And then she has what I assume is just three easy ways to start healing right now. So here's 3 offerings. And then here's her blog. And then you come down and then she's got her social media down here. She's got the newsletter down here, sign up. She's got a sign up button so that it's all very clear. And that's a good site. Now, again, it didn't used to be like that. Her train with us is a little more confusing, but again, she's Kathleen Prasad, so people are going to spend more time. But if I were you, don't make it confusing. Make it very simple. Train with me. And then you click on it and there's all of your classes listed. Or it could be services. You could have train with us and then Reiki sessions or whatever else you're going to offer. If you have products like her books, you would have a tab there. Jamie and I have consulted with a marketing expert, and what they recommend, making sure you have like, here's our mission statement, here's a free consultation, here are classes. That way, if people come to your website, they already know you. They don't want to like look around for how to buy stuff or how to do stuff. They just immediately, I've already been here. I decided I want a free consult. Boom, it's right there. Classes, boom, right there. Then we have a little bit about us. And then we have also visit our learn page, another link. You can click on these, they're links. So if you want the sporting dog page, we have classes for Reiki practitioners, and then a level 1. So then again, links. We're actually working on having what is animal Reiki under learn, so that we can cut this text down, because that's actually too much text. People aren't going to read that. So we want to probably take out at least these 2 paragraphs and just have, again, join us today. That's for training. And now we have, if you want to work with us, we show you how to do that. And this comes from a company called StoryBrand. And this is how they do it. They said, you know, tell people how they can easily, like if you want to sign up for a free consultation, you can sign up here. If you want to experience a private session, learn more here. Sign up for a class, again, here. So they can go, oh, okay, this is how I can work with these people. And then now what's the outcome of working with us? You develop a happy and peaceful relationship with all animals. Then we have, you know, not ready to commit, then join us on Zoom. So we have these Zooms and our Facebook on here. And then again, here's some free consultations that we're offering. So we were told that we need to have the button here really wide, because he said, you don't want, we have all this white space. There's no reason not to have a huge button, because we don't want to miss people. And then we go down to philanthropy. Here we are going to change this to pictures, but in the meantime, we're on, you know, a scrolling. And so now you can easily scroll. It's very large. You can see exactly what these people are saying. And then you come down, here's our certifications. And then we're trying to figure out what's happening here, but we'll get that fixed. But here's our contact. It's very big. And here's our socials. And that's who we are, right? And again, we have our mission statement down there. So if you go to our classes, it's very simple. You go to learn. We talk a little bit about our classes, and then boom, here's our upcoming classes. So they know exactly when our classes are starting. It's very easy. Oh, they have these 3 classes, boom, boom, boom. So you click on that, the level 1 that Jamie's teaching, and now you're at the page. Again, sign up. Here's the price. At the end of the training, what you're going to learn, requirements, and then again, the dates and sign up. You just want to hit people again and again and again. You know, repetition is what people like, because you have to, the rule is in marketing that you have to see something 7 times before you'll buy it. So it's a really good rule of thumb to keep in your mind. You know, it's okay to keep repeating, keep repeating, keep repeating.
And I think it's a different mindset with the website, because the website I had before was absolutely beautiful. I had it so pretty. I had this lady design it. The little paw prints and the circles were animated around them. And it was just gorgeous. And it really was pretty. I got lots of comments about how pretty it was, but it didn't get people to buy. And so fortunately, we're also lucky that Leah has taken so much training with all these experts in this field, because there's a system and a way to do this that will engage people and get them to buy. And it's not necessarily the prettiest website. So for me, it was a big shift. I had to really shift how I thought about the website.
Well, we see these websites and they're so pretty, and we think, oh, I want mine to be pretty like that too. But pretty doesn't equal sales. Like a lot of the ugliest, and one of the trainings I was in, they were showing some really ugly, just so much just text and ugly. And they had really high conversion rates because they had links everywhere, right? You want to buy this, you want to buy that, boom, boom, boom. It doesn't have to be pretty. Even Kathleen, when she, you know, this is a problem too. We look at somebody else's website that maybe is really popular out there. And we go, oh, I'm going to do my website just like theirs. Well, we don't know the backstory. So she had all these beautiful pictures, like, you know, it was like 9 beautiful pictures. And you had to click on the pictures to get to the class. You didn't, it was like a game of concentration. You didn't know what the picture, the picture didn't even really identify the class. And so the SEO guy that we were working with was like, he's like, I would leave immediately. He's like, this is too confusing and it's actually frustrating. So she then changed and put the names, like you saw those 3 offerings, she put the name, but before it was just the pretty photos and you had to click on it. Oh, what's behind door number 1? What's behind door number 2? You never want people coming to your site and guessing. It's just clarity, clarity, clarity. Less is more too.
Yes.
Except for with the buttons. Oh, and then one thing we didn't talk about in the morning, they say that the colors you need for your buttons are red, yellow, or orange. That's really important because you want to get people's, like our color scheme is like purple and blue and white, pink, but the buttons are orange because you want to be able to draw somebody's attention to that. Or like our lettering, when we say learn here, that's in orange. You just want to make sure that you're calling out in a different color that's very vibrant and bright. And, a lot of times we're like, I don't like that color, but it's what gets people's attention. And that's what you're going for. You're not going for aesthetically pretty. You're going for what's going to make people go click.
And that's the only thing we use that color for, that orange, is the call to action, take action now, buy, do something like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, so speaking of that, the call to action, let's start talking about that.
Call to action.
Well, wait, just one sec. Sorry. I guess we should ask, does anybody have any questions about the website?
Oh, yeah.
No? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, does Kelly have a question?
No, I was just gonna say it looks great. You guys got a lot of info on there.
Yeah, we've got to cut down our copy just a little, but you can, really people are coming to you. If they want to know more about Animal Reiki, they can click on what is Animal Reiki, but really if they know you and they're coming to you for a class, they just want that class. They don't want to have to search and find, oh, how do I take a class? I just want to sign up for her class. And then also, if you have your social media buttons up there at the top, we have 0 memory. So we go click on that Facebook and guess what happens? Now you're off the site.
Facebook.
And you're lost in Facebook and you never come back, right? And also confused minds won't come back. So yeah. Thank you, Kelly. We put a lot of hard work into that.
Yes.
You want to do mine now?
Yeah. We've been working with that.
All the work we've done talking about it, I haven't put it all together yet. So there you go.
Well, it takes a long time, as Jamie and I found out. Like we had high hopes that we were like, oh yeah, we're just going to get this done in a week. And no.
We're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. We were a little optimistic about what we were going to be able to accomplish.
Well, and then we'll talk about SEO in a whole different meeting. That is just it's an Everest of information. And it's really important though, but we do have some hacks that we're learning on that too. So yes, so let's go into call to action because that's really important.
Call to action is really important. And I've been guilty of this too, not having a call to action. Everything you put out there, everything you do should have some kind of call to action, whether you're sending a newsletter, whether it's like a follow-up email, whether you're doing a presentation to a group, posting like something on social media. Your call to action is asking people to do something. It doesn't necessarily mean sign up for this class or buy this book. It doesn't have to even cost them money. It might be follow me on social media, join my newsletter list, share this. If you enjoyed this email or this newsletter, please share it with a friend. Those are all call to actions. And it's really easy to forget because I do it all the time. And I know about this. I was taught this in my speaking class. You must have a call to action. They pounded that into my head and I still forget. And that's like before you do anything, if you're going to send out a newsletter, think about that. What is my call to action going to be? What am I going to ask people to do? Or if you're doing a presentation in front of a group, what is your call to action going to be? Because they won't all be the same. It's going to depend on who you're speaking to or, who you're sending the email out to, what you're doing. But you can benefit from, even following you on social media, signing up for your newsletter. That's a call to action. And it's important that we think about that ahead of time and remember to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think that like we were talking about this morning, so I'll share my screen. I'll show you Denise Duffield Thomas's, because she does a really good job and she does this in every email. My computer just does not want to load today. I don't know what's going on. Let me see if I can reload. There we go. So she's talking about creating and selling your first online course. Okay, so she goes in here and she talks about how she did it. And then here is a call to action. Click here for her gift, right? And then again, there it is. And then here's her boot camp. And then down here in her PS, she is a Kajabi affiliate. So that's how it's tied into her online courses, because Kajabi is really great for doing online courses. She has a couple different, so she has about 3 calls to action. She has this free gift, she has her boot camp, and she has Kajabi. You always want to make sure that you're not overloading people with calls to action. Here, sign up for this class or this class or this class or this class. Try and space it out where maybe you highlight a class or maybe you highlight 2 classes, but really no more, maximum of 3, and only do 3 if you think it's not going to overwhelm people. Now here, instead of, Kajabi, she sometimes puts, if you like this email, then please consider forwarding it to a friend, which is another just very subtle call to action, but really powerful, because that's how you can reach a bigger tribe, right? If you're doing something and somebody's reading it, if you ask them, hey, consider forwarding this to a friend, that's a way that you can open up your tribe and tap into other people's tribes. And really just ask your friends, oh, please forward this. Everybody on your group when you first start out is probably a friend. And so, feel free to say, hey, I really would love to expand my tribe. Please consider forwarding this. But it's really important. And Jamie and I realized today we don't have that on ours, so we're not even following our own advice.
Yes.
And we need to, because it is a really important call to action, and it's so subtle, and it's just a simple PS. And you can even have PS, consider joining my classes. And if you like this or you got something out of today's email, please consider forwarding it to a friend. Because a lot of times when we're sharing newsletters or emails, we're sharing something that we hope is hopeful to our tribe. And so then, asking them to please forward it doesn't seem like a big ask. And I know I've done that with friends when I read emails, I forward those.
Yeah.
So I think a call to action is one of the most important ways to increase your sales.
Right.
But like you said, we don't think of it.
Right. And we just have to think about it. And what I think is interesting about Denise's email, you notice it wasn't pretty. I mean, it wasn't full of graphics and all these different things. It was full of links. And, that's something, again, that I have struggled with. I always tried to make them look so pretty. So if you aren't comfortable, laying it out, look, that's all you have to do. If you have the links and, you're having the call to action, then you don't have to be a graphic artist and make your email look beautiful.
You don't. And another thing I want to call out about hers is, do you notice how she just uses 1 or 2 sentences? Because people don't like, if she had all of this in 1 paragraph, people won't read it. You have to appeal to the simplicity of somebody's mind, right? And so here I can go, oh, okay, great. And so I can kind of jump around and read it really quickly without like going, now, what is she trying to say? Because I can go, oh, so creating my money mindset, yours, okay, yeah, she's talking about her. Does this resonate? And then I can go down here and go, oh, wow, she's giving away this gift. And then she gives it, but you can see that it's spaced really nicely. And nothing is more than 3 sentences long, which I think is another really good rule of thumb when it comes to your newsletters. You want to make it super easy for people to read and follow the flow. A lot, especially if you're asking for more than one thing, right? You want to set things out. Like you saw how she set out, like, hey, here's who I am. This is why I'm contacting you. Get my free gift. And then, hey, did you really like these steps? Here's another link to the gift. Now join my boot camp. And at the very end, Kajabi. And even the Kajabi one, even though it was a lot of information about the same thing, she split that last paragraph up.
Yep. And I like the fact that the font was large because
Yes.
you know, I can read it easier. I hate the little tiny 10 and 12. It's like, no, make it bigger, please.
I think that's a really good point. You want it to be at least 14 or 16 even, because I know it seems like, oh God, we're like old ladies, but it's not. You want people to see it, understand it immediately, because if anyone has to try and read it, or if they look at it and go, oh my God, what is she saying? Right? Because big paragraphs, that means I've got to stop, I've got to think, I've got to read. And I think I'm just going to start doing that in my regular emails, just a sentence.
That's probably a good idea because, you know, people are bombarded with emails and I do the same thing. It's like, oh, I don't want to take the time to read that, delete. I don't want to read that. I don't want to read that. You got to make it really simple for me to get me to stop and actually read it.
And I love hers too. And Marie Forleo does that too. Hers are very simple. Now she'll do a graphic in hers, like a funny graphic, but hers are all very white, very simple, very clean, because if you make things too, like you've got too much stuff going on, you got too many colors, you got pictures or whatever, the mind is going all these different places instead of where it needs to go, which is your call to action or the information you want to impart, that you want somebody to get value out of.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I love Denise. I mean, she's a great person to follow and she has great advice and she's a really good person to kind of mimic, like on her emails. You know, that's a really good person to mimic. We always got to be careful when we mimic because obviously some people are doing really well and they're big and they have teams, but we can take away some of the rules because they pay a lot of money for marketing advice. And so you can look at them and go, okay, I understand now what I need to be doing.
Right. Good point. So before we move on, does anybody have any questions on the call to action? No? All right.
Really?
So,
nothing?
Nothing?
Not a question, not a peep. Come on, peeps. All right. Let's go to the next one because this one is your jam.
Yes, this one is my jam. To join groups or be on podcasts. And I don't know if that terrifies anybody, the idea of being on a podcast, but it shouldn't. The reason you join groups, and I'm talking about Facebook groups, I'm talking about local groups, you know, that maybe women's groups that you have in your community, business, chamber of commerce, you know, there's different chambers of commerce, there's health chamber of commerce, there's all kinds of things that you probably have in your community already. And joining these groups, you don't join for, I'm going to go there and I'm going to find clients, but you are going to make connections and you're going to meet somebody who maybe knows an organization that wants to bring it in, you know, or maybe you make connections with a shelter, or it's all about networking and making connections because that's really important. And it might be somebody who can help you. Oh, so you make a connection with somebody who's great at websites and SEO, right? Because that's the bane for all of us. And that you can develop this relationship and get help, you know, so joining groups is really important. And if you join like Reiki groups on Facebook or some of the other social medias, I know a lot of them here that I belong to, you can't post your classes or, you know, make a call to action, anything like that, but you can tell who you are and you can ask questions. So then I go on and I try to offer valuable information when I see somebody asking a question, because that way they if you do it consistently, and that's the key, you got to do it consistently, they see your name. It's like, even though they don't know you in person, we know the little logo that you have on your Facebook page, and they're like, oh yeah, I recognize this person. And it's definitely a slow way to grow, but it's important, and it really makes a difference with the networking that you do, the relationships that you build. And it's relatively easy. You don't have to do it every day. Like if you got on Facebook and you joined, I don't know, 3 or 4 Reiki groups, maybe once a week, sit down, schedule yourself some time. And this is my time to go through the Reiki groups and just see what people are saying and make comments. Or even if it's just, that's, oh, I love what you did, and how you did that, or whatever, just to make that connection with people. And so they see you, because we don't want to be the best kept secret. To be successful, we have to get out there and we have to be seen. I know a lot of us don't want to do that, but
then I think that also, like, what happens, and this has happened to me, and I think it's happened to you too, Jamie, that, like, let's say it's if there's a person that, like a popular Reiki person, and you're commenting, or even just a popular person like Denise Duffield Thomas, a lot of times if they see you post, like, commenting a lot, then they'll start to comment back on you, and they start to get to know you. And that's a really important relationship, because you want to be seen by some of the leaders, so that then, maybe they think of something like, oh, who would be really good if we start this private group? We should invite so-and-so, right? Because you're a positive member, you're commenting, all of those fun things.
Yes, I had a friend who did that on LinkedIn, and she does artificial intelligence, and I can't even begin to explain it. Okay. But there is a woman in the field who has hundreds of thousands of followers, even on LinkedIn. And so she was following her and making comments, and the woman started to follow her. So what happens now is her whole thousands of people see when she posts. And then, so she's being introduced to all of her followers.
Right. And that's really one of the biggest bonuses. Yes. That when you're commenting and everything, people will start looking for you. They'll, like, if it's on Facebook and you're commenting a lot, they'll go, well, who is this person? And then they might start following you that way. And then especially if the leader starts following you and they have a big following, yep. That's why those hashtags are really important too. You just tag people so that they can see it. But that's another discussion. But yeah, yep. It is a really great way to get seen, and to get people to follow, just by doing those groups. And I'm a big fan of batching. So, Saturday morning, you just go on Facebook, so that you're not doing shiny object every week, every day, where it's like, Facebook, is taking up all my time. I'm going to do 4 hours or whatever it is. And I'm just going to do Facebook, and I'm going to comment, and I'm going to post, and I'm going to do all these things. And luckily we have Hootsuite and those kind of things that you could schedule your posts. But for comments, just batch them.
Yeah. And another way to get seen or heard is through podcasts. You could also do television interviews, but a lot of people kind of cringe when you say do a podcast. They're not as difficult as what we sometimes think. So on Facebook, I know there are groups on Facebook where there are actually podcasting groups. And if you go on there and you join them, there are people who have podcasts who are looking for a guest. There are people on there who want to be a guest. You can scroll through there. If you see someone looking for a guest that you're a good fit, you can contact them. You can put yourself on there. I want to be a guest. Here's what I talk about, that type of thing. And they give you, in the rules, they tell you, what you need to put. But there are groups out like that make it easier. Otherwise, you have to go on and find the podcast, go on to some of the sites that have the podcast, and then you go into each one and you scroll around to find out how to be a guest. So that makes it a little easier. Now, if you're thinking about doing that and you find somebody that, oh, I think I'd like to go on to this podcast, then it's a good idea to go and listen to some of the past podcasts, 2 or 3 of them, to make sure that you like the questions that are being asked, to make sure you're a good fit, to make sure the interviewer is a good fit for you because there's no point wasting your time or their time. And, just by listening to a couple of them, there are so many podcasts out there. They are looking for so many guests.
Mhm.
And you might think, well, why should I even bother? Because truthfully, I've never really gotten a client from being on podcasts because I've been on several. But what I have gotten is excellent SEO
Mhm.
because the podcaster takes all their interviews and they put it on their website too. And so all their people see it. And so it really helps just get you out there. And then people see, oh, Kelly's been on this podcast. She
Mhm.
must be an expert. And, that's what people think. So it positions you as an expert.
And it doesn't even, you don't even have to be on like a popular podcast.
No.
Like people don't check those. If you're on 4 different podcasts and let's say they only have 4 viewers each, that doesn't matter because what people see is they see that you've been on 4 different podcasts. So you must have information that's valuable to share. And you might even want to consider putting that on your homepage, as seen in, a lot of people do that just so it's like you're establishing authority by saying that, we've been seeing blah, 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 blah. And that's actually a really good band to have on your homepage. And we should talk to Julie about that too.
Yeah, because we have a media page where we have all that
All of that. But it is good to call attention to that so people know, oh, wow, this person actually is an authority in the field. And you really, you don't have to have done this for years and years and years to be an authority. Everybody has their tribe and everybody can share with their tribe. But yeah, I mean, there, like you said, Jamie, there are so many podcasts and everyone is always looking for guests.
Yes.
So get your bio, get everything, like find just one podcast, see what they're asking for, and then just make a sheet for yourself that you can easily send. So you're not like reinventing the wheel every single time.
That's a good point. We didn't mention that earlier, but they are going to want like a headshot of you. They're going to want a bio.
A short bio.
Yeah, a very short bio. And they'll tell you how many words. Usually it's like 50 or under.
Yeah.
And so they're going to want that. And normally they may even ask you to send questions in because they don't have time to study, all the different people. So it's not like you're going to go in cold and be grilled and ask some question that you don't know, because you're going to send in the questions more.
Or they'll send it to you.
Right. Or they'll send it to you. And you can ask for that if they, say, could you send me the questions? There's nothing wrong with that because that way you're better prepared, and they would much rather interview a guest who's prepared than one who they have to, it's like pulling teeth to get them, to talk.
And I think when you reach out to, one thing you can do, and this is the same if you're reaching out to a journalist or anybody, give 4 different topics that you can talk about.
Yeah.
Like you can talk about animal Reiki, you can talk about shelter animals, you could talk about meditation with animals, you could talk about meditating with animals for your own mental health. There's all kinds of things through animal Reiki that we can talk about that people might not think is a thing, and that sets you apart as well too, because you're different. It's a different subject, and then having a link to an information page, whether it's your own website, if you don't have one, then link it to like Kathleen's, this is my teacher, this is my expert, and here's a page that talks about what animal Reiki is. But I think it's really important to give them different options, because if you say, well, I could talk about animal Reiki, they're probably going to go, I don't even know what that is, next. But if you kind of say a little bit about, well, these are the 4 different topics that I think your viewers, like you were saying, go on there, see who they're trying to appeal to and say, well, here, I think your viewers would like these topics.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can make it about their viewers when you, do your pitch, that's really important because that's what they care about. They want their viewers to be engaged.
Exactly. And they want a topic that's going to be interesting.
Yes.
They don't want to know, okay, yeah, dog training, I am a dog trainer, I'm just going to talk about, well, they probably have had a ton of dog trainers, but you have something really unique to offer. And then another thing we mentioned earlier this morning was help a reporter out. If you help a reporter out, they're always looking for experts and you don't have to be like, oh, I'm a scientist or I'm a doctor, just anybody. Like a lot of times they did one recently. It was so weird. I didn't respond because I don't know what is a silent meditation and how does it help? And I'm like, is there a special thing? I mean, silent meditation, isn't most meditation silent, I guess. I don't know. I didn't understand it, but they will ask for, hey, does anybody know how to calm your dog down during a storm? Does anybody know how to calm a cat down, when they've been freaked out or whatever it is? Or my cat's neurotic. They're going to do an article about it. How can you help? So again, that having that little bio, like Jamie said, the headshot, the short bio, this is what my expertise is, and this is how I can answer that question. But their deadlines are usually 24 to 48 hours. So you have to be really fast with those. But it's super easy. And then you're out in a magazine. Like I know that's helped you before, Jamie. You've gotten clients from being in a magazine before.
Yeah, we have a little local Las Vegas pet scene magazine, and it's published every 2 months. And so I contacted her. The first time it's because I got through a friend who was a dog trainer, so there was that networking, and she introduced me. So they allowed me to do an article on animal Reiki. And then I contacted her again about another one that I had an idea for, and she published it. And then what happened, because I was doing blogs and putting them on her website at the same time, she got a hold of me because she wanted something for people for the new year about meditating and being with your pets, how that can help you start the new year. And she said, I saw two of your blogs, and I'm wondering if you can put that together because I'd like an article. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I can put that together. Sure. So you never know what's going to come of it, how it's going to appear, but
yeah, but just it's an easy way to establish yourself as an expert and to get your name out there. And if you're in a major periodical, because a lot of these journalists on Help a Reporter Out, they're writing for big magazines. You could get in a big magazine, you never know. And if you are, then that's really huge. And people see it, then they start visiting your site. So, these are just really cheap ways to amplify yourself and your sales, just making some tweaks on your website, adding a call to action, clearing up your email. So it's very simple. And then joining groups, reach out to podcasts and, do Help a Reporter Out. It's just very easy ways that don't take a lot of time or effort, but can make a huge impact on your business.
These are things that like a PR company would do for you because they already have the connections, but they charge you a lot. Like
$5,000 a month.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So they always reach out to me for my cannabis company. We'll only charge you $5,000 a month to get you into PR, and they can't. It's like no.
So we have to do some guerrilla marketing and do it ourselves.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. All right. So we're not quite 10 minutes away from the top of the hour, but does anybody have any comments, something you want to talk about, even if it's about our topic, if it's about something different before we move on to our meditation? I know we have a quiet group tonight. I just can't believe that from you ladies.
We're all just kind of tired today. Like Kelly was saying, it's just like emotional stuff that's been going on.
Yeah.
I was just gonna thank you for all this great info, and some of it I've heard before, and I like like hearing it again because now I might actually go forward with it. And it's kind of funny because I've been on podcasts, I've been written up in like a shelter. Somebody came to the shelter while I was doing an intro course and wrote about that in the local, like really glossy, nice magazine. And so I've had like all these great opportunities like that. And it's the funniest thing is that like, I don't get a lot of clients from it, but people are always like, oh yeah, I know, I've heard of you. I hear that all the time. I see your name all over the place. And I'm like, what's happening?
Well, Kelly, so do you have links to those interviews on your website?
I do. Well, some of them I do. I did several podcasts over the last couple of years, which were really actually fun, and I really enjoyed it. And so every once in a while I'll repost them on Facebook, on my Facebook page. But I'm also, I just hate being on Facebook these days because I get sucked in, and even just the whole idea of sitting there for 4 hours, it's better for me to just get away from it. Like when I was on vacation, I got away from it more, and it was a relief, so I'm trying to be, as minimal as possible on there.
Well, and you can always have Trisha help you by posting things like that, just doing simple little, you just tell her, because Jamie and I do the same thing. We don't like to go on Facebook or social media, so we have somebody do that. But also, it's really important that you have links to your podcast and articles and things, because the SEO on Google, it wants links. It wants you to be linking out and for people to be linking to you. And so, yeah. And just, it's good for like people see you as an expert. So when they do want it, like you just, kind of proved my point. You said, oh yeah, I've heard this stuff before, but it's nice to hear it again, because you have to hear it literally 7 times before it starts sinking in.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not the top of my list of things I really want to be doing, according to, within my business stuff. Right.
Right.
There are other things I'd really be focusing on, them working on my website. And, but, I also really thought it was helpful to see how you did your certifications. I thought that was a great idea. I haven't updated that on my website yet, though I do have some of them on the bottom of my email newsletter kind of thing. So, but there are a couple I can add, and I think that looks good. So thanks.
Yeah, whatever you can do to establish authority, like, the articles, the podcast, your certifications, they all establish authority. And that's really important.
Because you never know which one is going to be the one.
Right.
Every time I'm doing something, or even being with somebody, it's, teaching someone, you just never know. This might be what takes you to the next level. It may not, but we don't know when it's going to happen. Right. But if we consistently keep doing this, eventually it will.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It may not happen as fast as we want, but we have to remember we're in a very niche market.
Yes.
There's only, people aren't really looking for animal Reiki. They might be looking for how to calm my dog, or, ways that I can have a better relationship with my dog or cat, or whatever that may be.
Right. Like a dog trainer, a pet sitter, those are services that people actually need. If they're having trouble with their animal, they need a trainer, or if they're going to go out of town and they have pets, they might need a pet sitter. Animal Reiki is a whole different ball game. It's probably not a necessity. There are some people who are going to see the importance of it, and it is important. I'm not saying it isn't important, but people tend to, gravitate first towards the training and the pet sitting. So it's important that we really put ourselves out there and get known, because we have a little extra hurdle to go over.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's not like an emergency service, right? Like, oh my God, I'm going away, I got to get a pet sitter.
Yeah.
It's like more of a luxury kind of service. Yes. I think some people feel that. Yeah. Like for me, like a massage or Reiki, for me personally, is required.
Right.
It's just a requirement in my life to keep me sane. But people could see that as a luxury. So
yes.
Absolutely. One thing I really mention really quickly, because this didn't pop up on either our website, Jamie, or on Kathleen's, is it's really important to have a pop-up with a free offer. And the reason for that being is when people come to visit your site that may not know you, if you have a free offer, and it could be something simple like a meditation is on Kathleen's site. On our site, it's just a guide on how to calm your dog. But I think we're going to change that to ways to meditate for peace with your dog. And it's just something simple and free, but you get their email address when you do that. So, right, they have to sign up, put their name and their email. Now they're on their email list. And they can always unsubscribe if they don't want to receive your emails, but it's really nice to be able, it's an easy way to get that email. It's an email grab, and it's something you really need to have on your site. Everybody should have that on their site, because otherwise you'll have visitors and you lose that opportunity. So, and they might be thinking, oh God, what was that site I went to that one time? And I don't know. But if they have a free gift from you, they'll go, oh, I'll search my gift, right? Or, oh, I remember I got something from them. So again, always making sure you have that pop up. Really, really important.
And I fought that for a long time because I always hate those when I'm on a website. I don't know.
Yeah, so did Kathleen.
And I hate them. And guess what? They work.
Mm-hmm.
And so, eventually I'm like, well, the experts seem to know what they're talking about more than you do because you're not doing much. So just because you don't like them doesn't mean they don't work. And
Kathleen and I had this long argument for a very long time about how she needed to do that. And she's like, no, I hate them. I hate that. I can't stand it. And it's like, you have to do it. And then when she finally did it, she was like, oh, yeah, I realize now it's worth it because you get really great email lists. She grew her email list quite large because it used to only be, I don't know, a couple thousand. Now it's like 7,000 or 8,000. So, you can really grow your list by just having that little gift that you can capture.
yeah.
I'm more annoyed when it comes up after I've already done that.
I know.
And
Yeah,
you revisit the site. I'm like, damn it. Let me come in here.
I know.
Yeah. So we've got ours set so you can visit, 3 times? And then it doesn't pop up again for a month,
Yeah.
which is why it didn't pop up when Leah was on there to showing our site.
Ben.
Because she'd been on there enough that it's like,
Yeah.
nope, it's not going to pop up now for another month.
And that's
Oh,
a simple setting in your website,
Yep.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, your tech guy can do it, or, it's,
Oh my God, my tech guy. Oh, he's another problem.
no,
I love him. And I'm just like, but yeah, hard to get him buckled down to do it.
yeah, a lot of
Both
them,
of us at the same time.
yeah, a lot of them are that way.
Yeah, it can be difficult for sure. And we spend more time doing things that we don't love in our business than actually doing the thing we love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, I think, maybe when you first go into business, for me, I mean, I'd heard that, but I didn't really believe it. I was going to be out with the animals and teaching people all the time. And it's like, that's a very small part of what I do, really. It's all the other stuff that it takes to operate a business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the bummer about being a solopreneur.
Yes.
You have to do everything. You have to change your hats.
Yes. And there's a lot of things I'm not good at. So I'm very fortunate, that Leah and I became partners because she's very good at a lot of the moving pieces and how that works.
But I'm horrible at networking. And so that's where Jamie, and she's really good at oh, I'm just going to get on a podcast. I'm going to write an article. And I'm like, oh, I have to hide. So yeah. So it's not actually, it's not a bad thing to get a partner sometimes, as long as you can each complement the other's weaknesses and you have your own strength. It's actually a very good thing.
Yes.
So I know we're coming down now. We
Oh
did.
yes. Oh my gosh, we only got 3 minutes now. We kept.
Should we just do a breath? Should we just do the 1 minute?
Like the
or
1
2
minute?
minute? Yeah. Do you want to do the 2 minute one? You did that.
Yes. All right. So let's do a 2-minute meditation. I've got dogs on my lap, but that's all right. Come on. All right. So let's get comfortable. Sit with our spine straight. And let's just start by taking a deep breath in through our nose. Pull that breath all the way down to our belly. And then on the exhale, release any stress or tension that's not serving you. Take another deep breath in. Pull it all the way down to your belly. Really fill your belly. And then exhale whatever's not serving you. One more deep breath. Pull it all the way down. And exhale and release whatever's not serving you. Now, on the next breath, breathe in and pull that breath all the way down to your belly and ignite that beautiful light that resides inside of you. And then as you exhale, breathe out this beautiful light into the space around you. Take another breath in, breathing in, allowing your breath to ignite the light inside you so you're growing brighter and brighter. And then exhale it out into the space around you. Take another breath in. With every breath in, every cell grows brighter and brighter. And then you exhale out. And this beautiful light just shines out into the universe. Just take another breath in. And exhale out this beautiful light. Now let your breath find a natural rhythm. And now your every cell is glistening. This beautiful light that's inside you has grown and expanded and is expanding outward to touch all those around you. You feel at peace. You feel safe. You feel loved. And you know that all is well. And now go ahead and bring your focus back to your body, but keep this feeling of peace and love and safety with you. And then when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes.
That was great. I love that.
So just a couple of minutes is all it takes for us
All
to
it takes.
get centered. Just a couple of minutes.
Absolutely.
So thank you everyone for joining us. It's so nice. We appreciate all of you more than you
Yeah.
know.
Thank you, Kelly, Michelle, and
For doing
Darlene.
it.
You're great. Yeah, yeah.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
before we go really fast, are there
Oh.
any topics you want to talk about that, we could all just kind of dish? Are there any issues that you're having? Michelle, you went unmuted. Do you have something you would love to? Oh,
We need ideas.
we need ideas because we want to be talking about things that you guys want to talk about.
Well, I'm in the middle of transitioning
Oh.
from grooming to more animal Reiki and dog training because I'm in dog training school.
Oh, great.
Okay.
So I'm in a lot of transitioning right now, and I'm just trying to get like all of my schooling in underneath my belt. I mean, I already have my website for my grooming and my boarding, and I have some information on there about Reiki on there, and I have a public group page for Reiki, for animal Reiki and human Reiki. So I don't know. As far as topics goes, I guess like right now I'm just listening to you all and seeing what comes up. Because there's so much transition going on right now that I'm spinning, and I'm having a hard time focusing on what needs to be done first before the next step.
We are so in tune with that.
Yes, I was going to say, Leah and I can relate to that. We were talking about it today, and that might be a good one, but we're all, it's like so much is happening. It's hard to know what to do next.
One thing in my entrepreneur group that they talk about is, there's an 80-20 rule. So you're really only 20% of what you're ever going to do is going to make the difference, right? So like, no matter what you're doing, if you read a book, really only 20% is probably going to be applicable to you. So they said, make a list and then go through that list and pick out the top like 20 things or whatever, however many that are really super important. And then out of that list that you make that are really super important, go through that list and go, okay, what actually has to get done? Like it just absolutely has to get done. It's going to make, they say, make the boat go faster, right? So there was this Olympic team and it was in the UK and they'd never won an Olympic medal before. And so the team decided that they were only going to do things that would make the boat go faster. So it was one of the boat rowing ones during the Summer Olympics. And every decision they ever made, is this going to make the boat go faster? If they wanted to stay out late, is this going to make the boat go faster? And so you can really like use that same type of thinking with your list. Is this really vital to my business? So like a lot of times social media, right? We're like, oh, I got to be on social media. Is it really going to make the boat go faster? Probably not. Right? It's for vanity. So then you can focus on what's really important. So just like having that more critical thinking about your list, so then you don't feel so overwhelmed.
Yeah, I'm not on the bandwagon of making it go faster. I need to slow things down.
Well, it means by that, what it means is it going to make the boat go faster? Meaning like they had a goal to win a medal, and they won a silver medal. So what they were doing is they were only focusing on things that would actually help them to win a medal. So for you, you only want to be focusing on things that are going to help you achieve whatever small goal you have. Like you have to get through your schooling. So what is going to help you get through your schooling and still allow you to, have your business or whatever it is for you.
Right.
And just being really critical in your thinking, because a lot of things that we think have to get done really don't.
I'm just going to say, I went to the garden center today to get stuff to start doing my planters and my pots. I came home with 6 plants. It's like, I can't, it's just too overwhelming. I can't even make a decision here.
I
A
know.
lot of time, I'm just gonna do a little at a time.
I know. And but we create these like deadlines or these goals for ourselves that are sometimes so unrealistic that we're not really looking at where am I at? How much time do I realistically have? And then we set ourselves up for failure. So then we're constantly beating ourselves up. Oh, I should have got this done. I should have got that done. Instead of, I only have this much time. And even if it's like, this is where tiny habits really comes into play, is like, let's say, you spend 10 minutes on a thing, Michelle, and go, yes, I did 10 minutes, just really making things into bite-sized pieces so that you can start feeling good that you're making some progress, instead of like, what I end up doing is like, I have something on my list that just goes day after day after day. And then I feel guilty. And so I have to really go, okay, I'm only going to spend 10 minutes and then I can mark it off my list. And it kills me because I'm like, 10 minutes isn't enough. And it's like, no, you said 10 minutes, mark it off your list. And so every day though, then by the end of the week, I've spent an hour on it. Whereas before I wasn't spending any time on it. So it does add up. You just have to do those little time hacks. Hope that helps.
An accountability buddy.
Yes, you do.
Did you do it? Did you do it today?
I have that for meditation.
You have to. It is what makes people successful.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. It really is. Did you do this? How are you doing on it? What was the problem? Yeah. It's hard to find a good accountability partner too, because a lot of them, they don't have that commitment to the daily thing. But yeah, it's great to have an account. And that's why joining like little mini masterminds, those are good because they will hold you accountable and they don't take up that much time, but you can get accountability partners through that too. So good luck, Michelle. We're rooting for you.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Oh, Darlene put her buddy back, so we don't get to say goodbye to Storm, but tell him we said bye.
Yeah.
Hey, Oscar. Oscar saying hi.
He says, please don't let Bella out of timeout.
Oh, Bella, she's having a hard time again.
She's been doing really good. Yesterday we had one episode, but it wasn't bad. I mean, it was to where I just picked her up and she settled down. This morning we had one where she had to go in the kennel, and then after dinner, so it's in the morning after breakfast, and now it was after dinner, then she sees Sophie and attacks her. So it's time out for you, girl.
It's like my house with Bo and Elsie.
Oh,
They're much better now, but same thing. Morning after breakfast, and in the evening after dinner, Bo gets like wild.
it must be something when they're metabolizing or something that just
Yeah,
irritation sets in.
I don't, because she was doing really good, actually, that we went 3 or 4 days without a fight.
Yeah.
So, but she's making up for lost time today.
Fell off the wagon.
Yeah, she did.
All right,
Good
everyone.
night, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us, Darlene, Michelle,
thank you
Kelly.
all.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Hopeless. This was helpful. Bye.
Bye, guys. And if you think of anything, let us know. All right.